and welcome viewers to this final episode of S.A.L.T, Sharing and Learning Together, a combined class project of Master of Divinity second year and Master of Arts in Clinical Counseling first year of Oriental Theological Seminary. This is part of our learning journey under the course and Introduction to Pastoral Care and Counselling. We, the participants, are all students, and therefore the content of this video should be treated for educational and awareness purposes. In this episode, the final episode, we will be talking about vocational counseling, and I think this is a good way to sum up our S.A.L.T sessions. So, vocational counseling. There was a time when choosing a career was a once in a lifetime event. That is also true for today, but not so much, and this usually happens in our adolescent or early adulthood. But with the changing times, we find flexibility in vocational or the career choices that we see around us today. Some people have gone out to live what they actually aspired to be when they were a child. And most of us have also found ourselves in places or in vocation or in career that we never thought we will be a part of. But that's the reality of life. In our time, with increasing number of college degree holders, we are facing another huge problem, and that is the problem of unemployment. And young people are directionless, wondering what is next. So in this episode, we will understand vocation from various perspectives, the factors affecting them, and also explore some meaningful ways that can help us all in our vocational choices. So joining me for this important discussion on vocational counseling, I have with me Mr. M.Div-2 doing his first year in Master of Arts in Clinical Counseling, Ms. Siyangami, second year Master of Divinity, and Ms. Hovikali Su, second year Master of Divinity. All right, let us begin the discussion. Can one of you kindly enlighten the viewers what exactly are we talking about here when you say vocational counseling? What is vocational counseling, or what are its goals?
Okay, thank you so much for having three of us in this show. Okay, so basically, what is vocational counseling? So, vocational counseling is a process that a counselor helps individuals with their career development and work-related career decision. Also, vocational counseling is also known as career counseling. So, where a counselor assists individual at any stage of their life, whether they are students or graduates or experienced and professionals looking for a change. And what are the goals? So here, our goal is to empower the individual to make informed decision about their careers.
Thank you so much, Nipato, for clearing that for us. I think the need of the hour, especially like as I've said earlier, with especially so many young people looking for direction and looking for a career choice, I think vocational, or for that matter, as you've mentioned, career counseling is the need of the hour. And I think the goal is pretty straightforward. It's trying to give a sense of direction to those people who are looking for one. So thank you for that. Going on to the next topic of discussion. Back in the day, I think, and it is prevalent even in our present times, a child would normally adopt the career or the vocation of his or her parents, and it was a pretty straightforward choice. But I'm not saying that there is anything inherently wrong in that. But with the changing social context and career opportunities, I think the situation is becoming more complex. Young people are facing with more dilemmas, if we can put it, especially when it comes to choosing a career or a vocation. But in the midst of trying to choose a career or a vocation, there are many factors that goes into influencing one's decision. So if you can kindly highlight, what are the factors that influences one vocational or career choices generally, and also what are the effects of making a good and bad vocational choices?
I think generally some of the factors that influence one vocational choice can be family and social influence, personality influence, interest, economic influence, and so on. These factors in its own way influence one vocational choice. For instances like personality influence. The personality of an individual can greatly influence its vocational decision that a individual is taking, which can lead to greater success and satisfaction. So, if a social person enters social occupations like teaching and counseling, there's a high level of success and satisfaction in their career. We often view that when a person is doing in their choice career, they are happy with their jobs, but we often ignore that they also come across ups and downs in life. A time of happiness, frustration, uh, and everything that they come along. However, one thing we can see is that if a person make one good vocational choices, he or she is happy with their work in general. So work and life are likely to be better when there's a good fit between one's work and interests, strength and personality. Whereas when a person make a bad vocational choice, he or she undergoes frustration and unhappiness even from the very beginning of their career. Even though they are doing well, there are many people who faces frustration since they are not interested in that work, or maybe they are compelled to work in that area. So it is very important for us as individual or as a youth or as community to make a good vocational choice when we are thinking about our career. That will be very helpful for us.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Hovikali, for clearly illustrating for us the factors that affects our vocational choices and also the consequences that comes along with good or bad vocational choices. Um, I think considering what you have just said, it's very crucial for us, especially as young people before choosing a career or a vocation, that we really weigh the pros and the cons before we step into it. Having said that, most of us, if there is no meaning in the work that we are doing, I think that's another that may give rise to another very big issue in our vocation. You know, for centuries, some people have made work to their idol, driving themselves in the vain efforts to acquire wealth and accumulate achievements. I'm not saying there's anything wrong in that. Others have poured their skills and efforts into work with anxious striving, only to wonder if all of their efforts were useless and without meaning. We seem to have tied our value to the works that we do. So, in this context, if we can go back to the Bible and try to find some meaning of why we do what we do, or the work and the vocation that we choose, I think that's going to help us a lot. So, can you please uh, walk us through what the Bible says about work and vocation?
The Bible does not talk about vocational counseling like we did today, but it does give us a lot of wisdom about work and vocation. From the very beginning, we see that God intended human to work. When He first created Adam and blessed him in the Garden of Eden, He gave him the job to look after the garden and name all the living creature out there. Not only that, there are many instances where God we see the importance of work. At first, work was pleasure, but after the fall of the humankind, it became a burden. And the Bible have recorded many things like when people were farming, shepherding, being prophet, priest, craftsman, and many more. So as Christians, we are to work as we are working for Christ, not for ourselves. And yeah, we should work hard and give our best in everything we do. And when it comes to vocational choice, it is God who guide us. Like in the Bible, we see like Isaiah, many people like Isaiah, David, Jesus, whose vocation, whose career was chosen even before they were born. And Bible says God help those people who ask, and then when making vocational choice, we should be aware that God it will be guiding us if we ask for help, and we should also need to figure out our own strength and interest and personality when pursuing our career.
Well, thank you so much for giving us that wonderful understanding of work and vocation from biblical perspective. I think what you just said, that in everything that we do, we must do it with all of our heart and also for the glory of God. That makes a lot of sense. That brings to mind a famous quote by Martin Luther King Jr., and I quote, "If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo bended, or Beethoven played music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, 'Hell lived the great street sweeper who did his job well.'" I think that beautifully sums up what we have just talked about. Just whatever job, whatever vocation we may be engaged in, just giving it our all and doing our best in whatever vocation we find ourselves in. So thank you so much for that. Unemployment, or for that matter, vocational choice, career choice, is a big problem everywhere. All around the world, young people are struggling to find a vocation of their choice or to find their calling, if I may say so. However, back home in Nagaland, we are over the past few years we are seeing this huge lining up of young people trying to secure a government job. Just so much focused on securing a government job, and the other vocational choices are either ignored out of ignorance, or something inherently is just not seem to be working right in our social context, especially when it comes to our career choices. So can one of you kindly highlight for us the factors that contribute to the rise of these persistent vocational choices or problems in here in Nagaland?
That's very important question, and it's something that so many people are currently grappling with. So when we look at the factors contributing to this, the first thing that comes to mind is over-reliance on government jobs. The strong preference for government service in Nagaland is not just a trend. It's a reflection of a long-held belief that government service offers unparalleled security, a stable income, and social respect. So, for many families, having a child in a government position is a badge of honor. However, this has created a very competitive environment where young people are spending years vying for a very limited number of positions. So the problem that I'm discussing is not about devaluing government service, but to acknowledge that there are other equally valuable paths to success. It's about broadening our perspective to see the vast opportunities that exist beyond government service. It's about encourage our youth to explore the diverse careers that are opening up. The second thing that I want to talk is gap between education and employment. I think it's a reality a lot of young people are currently living with. No doubt our school have done a fantastic job of giving us a strong foundation, and our high literacy rate is something to be proud of. But the world is asking something a little different. Think of it this way. Our education system is like a driving school that teaches us all the traffic laws from the textbook. So we know all the theories and we pass the written exam with flying colors. But when it's time to get a job, we find ourselves behind the wheel in real traffic, realizing that we have not actually been taught how to navigate the road. This is the challenge many graduate youths are facing. They have the knowledge but lack the skills that employers are looking for. So the conversation is not about pointing fingers, but it's about how we can all work together, parents, educators, and community leaders, to bridge that gap. It's about helping our youths connect their academic achievements with the practical skills that can help them immediately employable and ready to thrive in a world that needs their talent. So these problems are not just for one person to solve. It requires all of us to work together to create a future where every young person can find their own paths to success.
Thank you so much, Sia. I think you really addressed the issue very clearly and very efficiently. That's the harsh reality, over glorifying the government job, and as you have very clearly said, not to say that it is inherently wrong, but I think I think it's high time we as a community start to come together and start celebrating the success of the entrepreneurs. You know, people who are uh, doing the manual work, so to say, like barbers or drivers, you know, people trying to make something out of their life. I think it's high time we as a community need to come together and celebrate the success and the achievement of even those people. And when it comes to academics, you have already nailed it. But yeah, that's very practical. I think more than academic excellence, what the present world is asking is also our skills. So I think as young people who are currently pursuing the education, I think the need of the hour is to really develop some skill set along with the academic learnings that you are gaining every day. So thank you so much for that once again. Well, definitely we are not in a position to generate jobs, and I think Nagaland as a state is also struggling with that issue. But there are certainly ways we can help one another, especially people looking for direction, people looking for choices to make in their lives. So, what are some of the ways that we can help individuals who are seriously looking for some guidance and direction in their vocational choices?
Okay, so for that, self-discovery is important because self-discovery it helps individual to discover their own strength and what they genuinely enjoy. Also, this self-discovery is crucial because it helps them to find a job that align with their personal values and interest. Also, leading to greater job and satisfaction. Also, secondly, we should encourage individual to learn more about different jobs by talking to the people who are already in those fields. Also, going to fields, going to job events, or trying out job for a day. This gives individual a real look at what job is like. Okay. Lastly, as a Christian, we should remember that we need to put God as our center. Like everything we do in our lives, or whether in career or whatsoever, we must always remember and to put God first.
Well, thank you so much, Nibuto, for highlighting those factors. I think as parents, as guardians, as fellow travelers in this journey together, we all really need to be helping each other out, and also for individuals who are looking for serious vocational choices. I think it will be really helpful if we can keep those factors in mind, that we don't just enter a job or a profession simply because society expects certain things from us or even our family. At the end of the day, we'll be the ones who is going to do the work. So I think it's always worth it to give some really due consideration before we make a final choice. So thank you so much for that. Well, we are coming to the end of today's discussion, but we know that there are many people out there who are already in vocation, but we also know that thousands and thousands of young people are struggling to find their calling, or for that matter, a job or vocation, something that they can build their lives on. So what is that one word of advice or encouragement that you'd like to give to someone who is about to make an important vocational decision?
To anyone out there, if you're watching this feeling stuck or confused about a career decision, please hear me out. This moment of confusion is not a crisis, but a powerful opportunity to build a life you're passionate about. Remember, your career is more than just a job. It's a huge part of who you become. So don't just pick a paycheck. Instead of chasing a paycheck, Choose a path that challenges you, sparks your curiosity, aligns with your skills and interests. Choose a path where you know you're making a real contribution. Trust God, trust yourself, and take that step because your future self is waiting to thank you. You can do this.
And yeah, one thing, it's okay sometimes to take consolation from the pastors or the counseling if you are confused. Many a time we are confused about which career will be best for us. So if you are unable to find your interest or personality that will be best fit for you, then I think it will be best if you go for consultation. It's fine if what people say about you or that, but it's your life. So you will be the one who will eat the fruits that you bear. And so it's fine to go out, step out of your comfort zone and take advices of try to find out your interests, your capability, and look forward for a better future.
With those words of encouragement, we come to the end of today's discussion on the topic vocational counseling. Dear viewers, this 24th episode is also the final episode of S.A.L.T, Sharing and Learning Together, which, as I have stated earlier, was a part of our academic exercise under the course An Introduction to Pastoral Care and Counselling. This has been a really wonderful learning experience for all of us. And over the past 24 episodes, we have touched and dealt with almost all issues that we find ourselves and may find confronting with either now or later on in life. We know we have not given all the answers. Far from it, we have only scratched the surface of the issues that we have taken up for discussion. However, we will count our project or this endeavor a great success if we have successfully managed to instill in you a thirst or a longing to delve into these issues deeper and seek more understanding. I'd like to express my deep and sincere appreciation to all the participants. Thank you so much for working hard and contributing your valuable insights. Whatever we have discussed and talked about, I'm sure will go a long way in building a healthy community. And also to all the viewers, thank you so much for being a part of this amazing journey and making our conversation more meaningful. With your participation, this conversation and this project will carry greater impact. So thank you so much for being a part of us. The S.A.L.T message of care and healing and support actually begins now as we lift out whatever we have discussed about in the last 24 episodes. So thank you everyone, and may God bless us all. This is Mihima Apon signing off, sharing and learning together. Thank you.